Hello and welcome to BeamNG Drive. I'm davidinark, and today we're taking a look at the 0.19 update. Big news, of course, the Heya FCV platform. We've got the Vivace, which is what you're looking at right here. Checking out this interior. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I love the texture on there, just all the cool stuff in the interior. This happens to be the electric version of the Vivace. So cruise along here, just driving along. Granted, not going to make much noise since it's the electric version, but just wanted to show you what this looked like and give you a feel for what it sounds like when we crash. So there we go. That's very cool right there, man. As we come to a rest, this here is the Vivace Hill Climb Edition, and it is spectacular. Naturally, we're just going to drive it flat out, see what happens, and let it crash along the beach. So there's... But there are a whole slew of different versions of these different vehicles. Again, the Heya FCV platform, starting with the Vivace, and then we also have the Tog Rack, and this happens to be the rally version of this kind of a crossover SUV thing. Checking out the interior. Oops, sorry about that. Checking out the interior of this vehicle. I love the giant screen that is in action there. I don't know if the menu and stuff actually works. That would be kind of cool. I know there is a mod that allows you to actually interact with the giant screen, but anyhow, listen to this beast. Ah, man. There we go. From the outside, oops. Up and over. Just letting you take a listen there. Very cool stuff. Again, the Tog Rack. Now, the other thing that we have going on here is that the D series got an update, and there is they've got the 80s front ends, but in addition to that, or not just front ends, but kind of the 80s looking styling. But this is the D10 Charo. There's also a Zeta and the Kentark configuration. Different things that they did. They replaced the old tow hitches with a ball hitch equipped steel bumper. They've added a receiver hitch to some of the vehicles, and so you can check those out as well. We've also got military parts. So check that out. It's got the utility bull bar. It's got tow hooks on the back there, and then also the very tall long-range antennas whipping in the wind. That is very cool stuff, man. Check that out. Oh, yeah. So that is the military version of the D series vehicles here in BeamNG Drive. And then one of the other things they did was added a step side bed. Now, some of you may have seen something similar in the GamerGull, what was it called, the old style GamerGull or something mod. Well, the folks at BeamNG have put in a step side into the vehicle, into the game itself. Other things, the Autobello Piccolina now has a tricolor, I don't know how you say that, but anyway, a triple color configuration. Other tweaks, they improved the rally coilovers, they fixed the Rosso Fuoco color being wrong. There were some other updates with Burnsides, Blue Bucks, Covets. I mean, basically every vehicle gets an update. What we just saw there was the extended H-Series van, and then this bad boy here is the Vantastic configuration for the H-Series. And in addition to that, the Roamer got a giant update as well. It gets the extended version, so there are some long body versions of the different vehicles in BeamNG Drive. Again, there were some other updates to each of the vehicles. For example, like the Pigeon, and actually they added several new tires, new rims, that type of thing. One of the coolest things, though, the light bars now use point lights to illuminate the surroundings. So check that out. When you've got the lights turned on, well, it says light bars, but it also works with headlights and everything else. Just a very cool lighting model that makes it look way more realistic. That is so very cool. And speaking along those lines, there are all kinds of other pieces and parts in terms of driving dynamics that were updated. Here you can see that some vehicles have a sport mode that you can change with the ESC. Then there's also other versions as well, like the off-road version. So there's sport mode. Default transmission is set to sport. It hardens the dampers, stiffens the sway bars. There's also an off-road, which softens the dampers and softens the sway bars. All-wheel drive is locked to four-wheel drive, those types of things, and that's just by clicking the ESC button. As for some of the levels, this is a huge renovation to the small island. The rocks got retextured. The tunnels got updated. There's a helipad zone, so don't know if that means there's helicopters coming. That would be kind of cool. Anyhow, there's a helipad zone. They added some new props. They updated bridges, deleted some of the old stuff that was on there. But as you can see, major changes. And then there were some minor fixes to the other ones. East Coast, they fixed some of the waterfalls and some navgraph issues. Utah got improved lighting. Italy got some things that, there's some hidden items, some floating things. That's one of the main things that did was they removed the floating objects that were on a lot of the maps. And then one of the other things you may have noticed when you get into the game is that the garage is gone. Garage mode and access to the garage level have been temporarily removed because they're going to work on some improvements for the way the garage works. And then they also cleaned up some other things like the driver training. Fixed up a few things. There's also a couple new scenarios. They fixed the car delivery scenario, and then there's a new one here called the supply delivery scenario. And one of the really cool things about this is that you get to choose which path you want to take, and then once you choose a path, it tells you, hey, all right, you've taken the asphalt road route, and Merry Christmas to you. There's also another scenario featuring the Piccolina, and it's called Gravity Fuel, where you have to basically deliver a Piccolina. There's also a multi-seat soccer scenario, which is very cool. 2 players. Again, that's multi-seat, so it's on the same computer because they have not officially implemented multiplayer. There is a mod for that. It's very early stages. It's also very glitchy and a little weird, but it's fun. It's fun. I got the hiccups, of course. Other fixes, traffic. There's a bug fix for when deactivating traffic. They've done some traffic code optimization, some multi-spawn optimizations, and those types of things as we cruise down here. Once again, this is the supply delivery scenario, and I mainly just wanted to see if I could get that box to move back over, and, well, yeah, looks like the crate fell off. Thanks, Captain Obvious. That was great. All right, so some of the other things that they fixed, the audio, if you hadn't noticed by now, it sounds much deeper, much richer when you crash vehicles. One of the coolest thing, though, just listen. Yeah, that's right. They added water ambient sounds. That is freaking awesome. There's an underwater audio filter. There's ambient sounds when you're in or around the water. And then also they've improved the sound so that ambient noises kind of have that Doppler effect, and they fade as you move away from them. So very, very cool. Some other updates. They fixed things like non-metal materials can generate a generic impact sound. They've improved the sound of fire. So there's that. They fixed, tweaked a bunch of things with the controller. Also fixed some things with input. For example, light bar input actions are now global. The steering speed caps are adjusted so that 540-degree steering, like when you're doing rally steering parts, they can move even faster than the 720 degrees when you're using a gamepad or a keyboard. Other things like that. They've made updates to various powertrain issues, made some changes to the UI itself, renamed some things, reorganized some things. One of the biggest things that they did is you're seeing right here, the visuals for lighting. I mean, you get, what I've always referred to as, the God ray effect. But there's also like really cool parallaxing going on. There's really the way the sun, when it is behind certain objects and interacts with certain objects. Very, very cool stuff. There's a lot of other features as well. The game engine itself has been updated. There's a thumbnail script where it says it implemented a basic IM GUI window to start the script easily. It's in the showroom level. There are also some things with the rendering. Again, where you see the way the sun interacts, you see the way that the lights interact with the environment. So as you can see on the ground itself, as I'm driving with the lights on, depending on how far the car is from the ground and where the lights are pointing, it's actually a much more realistic view of what's going on with the lights. So lots of other things that I don't know if they're major fixes, minor fixes, but fixed some of the issues with where there were some invisible vehicles on different levels, fixed negative colors due to detailed textures, lots of physics updates, aerodynamics and internal collision subsystems. They can now independently sleep when objects are at rest. There were some other optimizations done to the physics core. AI has been fixed. So now if you've got more than 65,535, basically if you've got more than 64K waypoints and a nav graph, then AI has been fixed to handle that. There's only a couple maps that I can think of that would be a thing. But also fix things like Navigraph, the flow graph editor, race path editor, the track builder. They've added a new consoling. So the old one, the old Torque 3D console where you push Shift tilde is available, but they have a new console system that allows you to get into some options and fix some things, change some things from the console command. And then there's a whole new update on game session information. The World Editor has received a major update, including much easier to get to the cam path tool, those types of things. And then you have the material editors, asset browsers. They've updated some of the settings, some of the LUA, and then a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff. So all kinds of changes in the update for 0.19 here in BeamNG Drive. You can get to all of that if you just go to BeamNG.com, click on the dev blog link, and you can see and read about all of the amazing changes here in the update. So, got any questions, problems, suggestions, horror stories? Feel free to leave those down in the comment section below. Below. I'm getting all checked up and so verklempt. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Hero of God, GamerGull, and Mr. Spooky 7 for supporting me on Patreon. I appreciate that so much. You can check that out, patreon.com/davidinark. Again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you and yours are doing well during all of this pandemic stuff. Yeah, hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.